What's up, guys? Welcome to Locker Room Logic, where sports meets culture. I'm your host, Matt Kane.
And I'm his co-host Charles Cannon. And in today's episode, we're going to be interviewing current forward of the Southern Connecticut State basketball team, Kazell Stewart.
Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Reach out if anything. Oh yeah. So what's up, KZL? How you been, bro?
I'm good. After graduating and coming back, it's been better being able to recover and getting ready for the season and playing. It's been fun. Being with the guys and coaching staff. It's been a pretty good beginning of the preseason and stuff like that. So,
Got you. How's recovery been?
the recovery went really well. I ended up getting cleared in like 8.5 months after ACL rehab, and then I transitioned when we came back to school around August to start gearing up for contact and being ready to play this season. So it's been pretty well. Preseason's been going well. Slimming down, cutting down some weight, so that's pretty good.
I'll let her hear that. One of the first questions I wanted to ask you were what inspired you to play basketball, and where did you get this love for the game?
I think growing up, basketball became more of just a hobby for me, and I was playing so much from AAU to high school season to just just summer, winter, fall, every time that I kind of grew into it and started liking more and more. And when I got to high school, I had coaching staff like Coach May and Coach BB. They kind of just got me more into basketball in terms of being able to come to college, getting recruited by colleges, and thinking about the higher level after high school. So I think I kind of fell in love with it after freshman year.
That's what's up. That actually transitions into my next question. So I seen that your freshman year you came in at 6'2", 165, and playing varsity at that size for a freshman. What was the experience like? What was it like being coached under Coach BB and Coach May for the first time? What was that like?
I think high school is way different than college, especially me being at such a young age, being at 15, being on the varsity team around a lot of guys that are 17, 18 was very different. But I kind of was ready for it. I had the athletic ability and things like that, and I was on the taller side for a freshman. So, being able to be molded by a head coach like Coach May, it was a dream for me because in some ways growing up, the things that you were doing in workouts or the things that he had you doing were building you as a character, but you didn't really understand until you got older. So, now I'm really thankful for all the things that I've been through throughout high school and being able to come to college and have this college experience. So, I have a lot of things to look back on and be happy about.
Got you. So as you got older in high school, Coach May, like you said, was a focal point of your high school career. How did he take you under his wing and really tell you about not necessarily basketball lessons, but also life lessons?
Inside and outside of the classroom, Coach May was always there. He was the in-school suspension teacher. So regardless of whether he was my head coach for basketball or cross country or whatever, he was always inside the school in any shape or form. So no matter where I was in the school, he could see me. So if a teacher ever said anything wrong, he would just show up to the classroom. And if it wasn't showing up to the classroom, he would just wait for me at the end of the day before practice and always talk to me. And he just always gave me a lot of life lessons about things that are going to happen to me as an athlete and as a male. So, he kind of started me at a young age and was just teaching me about things that are really important when it comes down to getting to the higher level and what I really needed to focus on. So,
Got you. So as your senior year, you're averaging 25 points, I think, your senior year of high school. And then all that fame, popularity, he was top Connecticut high school player of the year and all that. How did Coach May transition you to the next level in terms of your prep school? And I think you went to Lee Academy, I believe.
Yeah, I ended up leaving Prince Tech and going to Lee Academy for a year. Then after I left there, that's when I committed to come to Southern. But transitioning from my junior to senior year, Coach May did a lot of things one-on-one, just outside of basketball, teaching me more about leadership roles and things that I had to display for Charles when he was playing at school. And the younger class, it's just not even in my sport of basketball. It was in cross country and anything that I was doing. He was just always trying to make sure that, he knows that people look up to me. So he was trying to make sure that when I was outside with them, carrying myself in that way and still being true to who I am as a person. I feel a lot of times when people see me, I have a straight face, so I tend to get judged by my character. So people think I'm kind of mean, kind of standoffish. but I'm the complete opposite. Like, I'm a very happy person. I'm outgoing. So when you talk to me, it's like it makes it like a relief when I start talking about just calm stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, to actually bring up like one of your moments I saw your senior year of leadership was it was like the very last practice after before like the regular season started, and you all you could talk about was wanting to go to Mohegans and win state. I could tell like you were driven, and so what you had me and the team do, we had us knock on wood, and as we was walking past like one of the light poles, and he was like just like knock on wood, guys, we're gonna make it to Mohegan this year, we gonna win it all. And that like what made that special because like with to see what y'all as a team what y'all later did for that whole season, what you did was like very special. And like where I guess like where did your like determination come from? And we know sadly the season didn't end the way we wanted it to. Like where did your determination come from before that season started?
I mean, in terms of high school back then, I think my determination just came from always being in practice with you guys every day. And like, I think after a while being in practice with you guys, it never was really about me getting better necessarily. It was about you guys kind of trying to understand what basketball more was about. Because I feel like at certain points in high school, I kind of was on like a different level from you guys. So I think I was trying to build more character in you guys to have you guys have more confidence and just instead of me always being the star person, I wanted to be surrounded like by people that actually were really good and stars too. So I think I kind of try to get like more motivation from just like seeing that you guys were like more confident when you guys were playing instead of like it always being me, have the ball, score the ball, pass the ball, get the ball, and things like that. So I mean, I think that just came from also like those times when like me and Coach May sat down and we had like our man-to-man conversations about just like high school basketball and like the things that he wanted from me in terms of a player. And I just think like I agreed with some of them, but like I kind of was a person that I always like to do things my way. I mean, in high school. So I kind of got you guys on board with just like, it not always being about me, it being about us as a whole, as a team, us being together. So, and that translated to a 23-0 season. So.
Yeah, no, that's perfect because when people look at that like Prince Tech season, they think, oh, it's just like Kazell, number one guy, he's scoring, he's doing all that. But really, like behind the scenes, you guys seem like very close knit. You was trying to help out all the other guys and on route for something special. So that and then so how did that experience? So moving into like college, you go to leave, come to college. How did Coach Burrell make you choose Southern?
I think translating for me coming to Southern from like the academy, I spent a lot of time away from home for that long time. I was gone for like a year, almost a year and a half at prep school, and like being in Maine, being a whole different state, like 6-7 hours away. I think kind of like when it buckled down to me coming to Southern, it came to like I wanted to be closer to home and not just be closer to home. Like Southern's like a place that's not even just about like basketball or sports wise. Like you come here, you meet a lot of people that are like family, and being in New Haven, you're still not far from Hartford. So a lot of Hartford kids come out here. A lot of New Haven kids that I grew up playing against play out here, come out here and play for the schools. So I think that family situation just kind of got me on board with coming to Southern, and I think that's what helped motivated me a little bit more. Where like no matter where I go, I always have some people that like I kind of grew up around that watch me play in some shape or form. So.
Got you. So you're at Southern. You guys are having a great season. I believe it was 2023 and 2024. Made a tourney appearance first round.
That was
24, 20,
yeah,
23, 24. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So you got during that season, like walk me through like the best moments because there was a lot. I believe you made like ESPN top 10 or whatever with all those dunks. So like, what was your favorite moment?
Unnecessary. I mean, like I feel like I've been in college for a while now, 5 years. I'm a grad student now, and I mean, like that season was such a blur. Like it went by so fast. So I couldn't really take a lot of moments for granted. I mean, ESPN was like a top moment, but I just feel like, waking up that day we made the tournament and watching the video, watching us get voted into the tournament, I think that was probably one of my favorite moments because like I feel like us as a team, we all banded together just to like lock in for that last few games of the season. Not even just that, get into the championship. Like that was like a crazy moment. Like we were really going hard in practice. It was like an everyday grind. College is way different. Like kids are bigger, stronger, faster. You know what I mean? So like it's just an everyday. You gotta wake up, work out, wake up, lift, wake up. You gotta do something to like separate yourself from like other kids in college. So I mean, I guess that year I think my favorite moment probably was just getting voted into the tournament or even making the championship. I would say because like it's very different from like coming from a small high school to being able to be at a college, especially in this conference and division. Like I mean, Southern's looked at as one of the like bigger schools because we're a public school. But in terms of like sports and stuff, we're always looked at like on like the mid or lower side. But we do a really good job in every sport at like showing guys that we're not underdogs. You know what I mean? We're people that we should be scared of. So I was just really proud that we made the tournament that year. Proud that we went to the championship. That was like something I was happy about, regardless of how my season went and everything. So
Throughout that season, who like what? I'm sorry. throughout that season, throughout that season, as you were going through practice and winning games and really progressing, who's a teammate that you feel like that you saw make the most progression throughout that whole season that you probably never thought you'll see so fast and like so rapidly?
I mean, that whole season we had a lot of guys. We had a few grad students, Mason and Josh McGettigan. Mason Williams was a grad student from Bridgeport. Josh McGettigan was a grad student from St. Rose. You know what I mean? We still had Sean. Sean was here from Southern. Like, we had a lot of kids. I think in terms of like just me and like people that I came to Southern with and like I grew up with, I think Sharif definitely made a lot of jumps. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sharif is like a way more mature player now than he was like when we first started. And he definitely like he made jumps in this game offensively, defensively. Like, as you can see, he made defensive team and like, you know what I mean, he's been on the boards for defensive player of the year. Like, Sharif has been doing his thing. So I mean, I feel like that season definitely I noticed that Sharif made a lot of jumps. And like, you know what I mean, him being my roommate, like it was really great to share that experience with like not just like we were winning games, but like, you know what I mean, I got to live with my roommate who was doing really good. So
What role did you take on the Southern team? Like, obviously you did well individually, but like from the outside looking in, it looks like you guys were very bonded together, almost like how you guys were in Prince Tech. So like, what was your role on that team?
I feel like I mean it's like I said, it's very different. I've played 2 seasons here. I've took 2 seasons off because of the injuries and stuff like that. But I feel like that year when we were playing really well, I think I was just kind of more of like the extra piece, like the glue that was needed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was just a person that kind of like when we were playing, regardless of what it was for practice or whatever we were doing, I was just kind of that person that was doing like a lot of dirty work things, like
I was just about to say
grabbing rebounds, blocking shots, playing defense, offensively. Just when it's my time, and things like that. But I mean, yeah, necessarily as like a teammate, I just was like, I kind of was just there to like, understand the game more so, listen to my teammates, like see where I could best fit in and help at. So, you know what I mean? Whatever it was, that's where my head was at that game, depending on what game it was, you know what I mean? But like in college, you kind of understand when you get to a certain level, you know who you are as a player, things you're good at, things you're bad at, and, kind of just tend to figure out like what helps the team in certain situations.
Does that go for last year too? Because I believe you was out all last year with your ACL.
Yeah, I mean, all last year I spent a lot of time, like once again, like this is the second injury, second time sitting now. I'm a redshirt junior technically now, but I'm a grad student. So, with this being like one of the seasons where like I finished college, got my degree, and graduated, but I'm still playing basketball. I think last year I took a lot of time just to understand like how the game is played, like, you know what I mean, like the teams that we play against, the type of coaches that we play against, you know what I mean, the type of sets, offenses that I see all year, defenses that I see. So like, regardless of the situation, it's always just like watch the game, see where you can affect yourself and implement yourself into that game, and like, you know what I mean, you go from there. But like every year it's going to change, teams are going to change, they're going to get different recruits, graduate students, Division I transfers and things like that. But like I said, you stay true to yourself, you know who you are, you know where you can put yourself into the game once you get to a certain level. So I mean, last year I just spent a lot of time, like, regardless of what was going on, whether win, loss, telling the guys, like, we're right there, you know what I mean, just a little bit of things that we have to do better, you know what I mean, if they take heed to it, they take heed to it. Don't just understand that, like, the next game is, like, it's a different game. Regardless if we win or lose that game before, the next game we have to try to do something differently to either win the game, you know what I mean, and, like, like I said, last year we had a good record, too, so we did pretty good.
What I would say, and throughout like all the studying and like improvement of your game and just seeing the different battles you've been through, what part of your game you feel like has increased that you never thought would increase, or like you were never really that strong with, but has gotten better?
I feel like since I got to college, like a big jump for me was always like gauging my jump shot, like just being able to shoot the ball a little bit more. Because I feel like in high school that was just where that was kind of separating me. Like I said, from high school to college, I was just always an uber athletic athlete. Like I could do things that a lot of people couldn't. So I think a lot of times, like in high school, I just spent a lot of times like when my jump shot wasn't working, I kind of would just have a tendency to drive because it wasn't that like I could just go like bulldoze my way to the paint or like just get to where I wanted to. And I think a lot of times now, like in college and just training and like filming my study on myself, I try to focus on getting to spots more, like being able to just be in a position where I know like could get to like my go-to like stuff, like post ups or catch and shoot, whatever. But I think I spend a lot of time focusing on just like the areas of improvement where like shooting the ball, getting a lot of reps in, touch, finishing, and things like that. And then, I definitely would say like I always was a person that like maybe I don't consider myself as a huge playmaker, but like I feel like in college I definitely grew a lot more understanding like when is a good pass, when is a bad pass, when to pass the ball, how to get the ball to specific people. I don't really shed light on it because like I said, I don't average a lot of assists or like I don't average like a lot of those stats in that category. But definitely I still spend a lot of time like just like making sure I recognize that like still being able to fine tune those things. Like passing the ball is a really big thing in the sport. Like it's okay to score a lot of points. It's okay to like break records and things like that. But being able to like share that ball and get the ball to somebody in need when they need it is a big thing. So I think definitely shooting and playmaking for me since I've been in college, especially now me being in the 5th year. Like that's all I've been just focused on, shooting, playmaking, and then like I said, like with my own getting in shape after rehab and stuff like that.
So, how do you feel about going into this season?
I feel like a lot of people after they come off an injury are very nervous. They have like high nerves, and just like the thought process of like being out of a sport for like a year like could shake you or make or break you, like But I feel like I said, like I grew up playing basketball for a long time, and I just understand like there's gonna come times where like you're gonna have to sit down for a while, and I feel like my 2 years being injured, I took a lot of time when I got injured to focus on other things besides sports, like just myself, like Like I said, outside of basketball, like you guys seen me do a lot of stuff. I was an orientation ambassador. I walked around the campus. I've done peer mentor. I've done a lot of jobs on campus. So I think I got my fair share of like what it's like to not be an athlete and understand like outside of basketball, like who I am as just a person and like the things that I like. So I think coming into this year, I'm not really that nervous. Like you gotta do what you gotta do at the end of the day, and like it is what it is. Like I said, I had one injury before. This is just another one. It didn't really stop anything. It just halted me for a little bit. So I'm just happy to be back, and I'm kind of the nerves aren't there because I'm kind of just really focused on like every time I step onto the floor, really appreciating the fact that I can walk onto a gym floor and be able to run up and down and compete with my teammates and stuff like that. So
That's real because a lot of athletes they play their respective sport for all throughout their tenure in college, so when it's time for it to be done, they never like get that ability. So how did that year of not playing college ball, how did that prepare you for the future, like life after basketball in a sense?
second or the first year?
Second, this one.
Okay, the second injury. Like I said, like I think I just took a lot of time to just focus on like myself, like and just understand like the things that I like, things that I don't like. Like it's kind of like a meditation period. Like I don't know for people out there who do meditate, but like when you get a time away from something that takes up a lot of your free time, like I said, my schedule now is I wake up, I work out. I wake up, shower, eat, work out, do all those things that I need to do before I get ready to go to the gym. But I spend a lot of time in the gym. Like I'm spending like 4 or 5 hours in the gym, maybe like 6 max a day, because I'm working out every day 2 or 3 times a day. And then on top of working out 2 or 3 times a day, like I still have homework and doing all those other things. So I think like that whole year where I couldn't work out as much as I'd like to, or focus on like I said, the sport that I love the most, it just gave me like a more fond loving for just like enjoying peace, like just enjoying your
That's
time to
right.
yourself. And like I said, like I'm not a person that like even when I'm not playing basketball or something, I always like to be doing stuff. So like I had like a lot of times where I was just chilling, like I said, talking to you on the sidelines, or just like, you know what I mean, when we weren't getting ready to play the game, just enjoying what it's like to just, you know, be a student, not an athlete in terms.
So you are you are currently getting your master's right now, and that's a huge achievement. What are some career paths that you have thought about after basketball?
Definitely after basketball, you mean, you know, with my mentors, like I've definitely thought into going into coaching. Definitely personal training for the sport that I've been in for sure, especially with like my basketball and high school resume so far. But I've even been looking into like things like athletic director or like just whatever, like at the high school level and trying to work my way up. But like sports management is such a broad subject that like, you know what I mean, the career paths are endless and when you really like apply yourself to it. So, you know what I mean, there's just more things than coaching and athletic director and, you know what I mean, there's facility management, there's like a bunch of other stuff that you can go into a different department. So, you know what I mean, I like I said, I spent my time working with a lot of different people and like, you know what I mean, just looking into the career path a little bit more and understanding, like I said, like I've been back to Prince Tech a few times. I've talked to the athletic director there, I've talked to the coaching staff there, I know the coaching staff there. So, you know, it's just when that time comes, I'm ready for like to see where I'm going. But like I'm still in college and I'm still going through like this, you know, school stuff. So I want to just focus on this right now. Then when it's time to make that jump, I'm ready to make that jump. I did all the stuff I needed to do, networking and everything. So
That's good. That's good. So the way Coach May impacted you in your life and was like a role model, would you would you ever want to pay it forward to people under you, like after you, well, like, do you ever want to be as impactful as he was on you to like other teammates, other people you work with, younger youth?
oh no, for sure. I feel like what Coach May did, not just for me. Coach May was a coach that he did everything for the Hartford community. So like, as much as people like always ask me, was he a good mentor to you? He wasn't just my mentor. He was a mentor to a lot of young kids and athletes in the Hartford area. Like it's just not at our school. So he was like a great leader in the community. So I just feel like the things that he taught me, the things that I seen him do, like I mean, they impacted me so much that like I always get those questions, like if when I do finish college or if I go do what I want to do after like after basketball, pro, professionally, or whatever I do, would I go back to my local high school and coach and do the things that he does? I mean, like things are changing. You know what I mean? The school system is changing. Everything is changing. So like, you know what I mean? I definitely would, but I think my impact lies in a different role, maybe not in the same role that he had. Like I said, he was like not just a coach, he was a teacher. You know what I mean? He was a mentor, and he was a person in school that when you got in trouble, like you got in trouble with him, but you weren't really in trouble. Like he made you understand what you did wrong and how to learn from those mistakes. And then he kind of taught you lessons that like, you know, help aid you and like learn how to get better. So I think I definitely take a lot of things that he taught me and a lot of things I've seen him do with me every day. You know what I mean? Like I said, I got a tattoo of him. Um, he passed away, rest in peace. Um, but definitely, he was like, just like I said, he did a lot of things for me mentally that, like, you know what I mean, I would never take for granted. And like, I definitely want to give to like the younger generation and like help them learn, especially when it comes to like such a hard sport as basketball. And you know what I mean? It wasn't just him, it was Coach BB too. Like, he was my mentor. He taught me a lot of things. Like, when times got rough with my head coach, like, he was right there, standing there every step of the way, just telling me, like, you know, things are going to get better. But you got to understand, like, he played for him too, so he understands like the things that he was trying to tell me in the moment that I couldn't understand as a young man. But as an adult now, that I look back on the 4 years after high school and the 4 years that I did there, like at Prince Tech, like he did so much more than just what I was thinking about. And it took for me to finish that season and finish that year to truly understand what he meant in every lesson he taught me and everything he said and every word or piece of advice he left in my brain after a game, after a practice, after just even just sitting in his office for 2 hours after a long school day. So, you know, I definitely would want to be able to spread that knowledge to the younger generation. And, you know, I mean, if they take heed to that advice, definitely it would help some people become better people.
Definitely, definitely. So look, you look back at your like athletic career, all the highs, the lows. what piece of advice would you give your either a younger athlete or your younger self, or both?
I think the best advice that I feel like everybody always gives as an athlete is just don't give up on yourself. Don't quit. No matter what happens to you, there's worse things happening out there. I mean, I've been, like I said, I'm still in my athletic career. As much as I want to say like it's over, it's not. Like I still have 2 more years of eligibility. Um, I've been in college. I got my degree. I played 2 years. I could play another 2 years. I mean, I played high school. I played AAU. I played all this basketball. Like when you're young, you never think about the things that happen when injuries come up. But like I said, like for me, like just my thought process on all that stuff and quitting is like an injury is never really the end of the world. It's never the end of, like, if you really push hard, you can come back from anything. And quitting is the worst thing you probably could do to yourself. Giving up, like, what I mean, no matter how hard things get. Like I said, life could be harder, but I just say don't give up on yourself no matter what your situation is, because at the end of the day, you could always turn your situation into a better situation. So don't quit on yourself. Keep going, push no matter what happens. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've been through my fair share of injuries, so just be happy when you come back and be on the floor or field.
Now we appreciate you, Kazell. This was great. Thank you for coming by, giving us this interview. Um, thank you guys for tuning in to Locker Room Logic. Kazell Stewart, Hartford Legend.